appreciate you all being here. Honestly, I couldn't do this without all of you. I mean, for the spirits, not cheap. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself because I tend to fail to do that when we jump in and start looking for a house for you, or if it's jumping in to help sell a home for you. So from the time that I remember, youngest age, and to like probably 7, my mom, my brother, and I lived with my grandparents. And during that time, there was like some sort of security that was felt at that time. And there was also a set dinner schedule. I kind of blame that on my grandfather and his military background and wanting to have steak and potatoes every night. And when, like after that time, my mom had moved my brother and I out to Richfield, and things changed, and security went away. I want to say that my brother and I don't know, maybe we were probably just as young before. We were wild children, is what I felt like we were. I mean, if you could just picture an 11-year-old with machetes cutting trails through the woods. That's what we did every day. But one thing that we didn't have was like stability, and there were times where we just didn't have food to put on the table. And to the point where the Miss Sally, the lunch lady, would give me a bag of food, a little lunch bag of food, on Fridays. And my brother and I would ration it out through the weekend. And we would also spend a lot of time at friends' houses because food would be there too. Not that it was all the time, but there were definitely significant times that happened. And there was one time that I remember, I must have been home alone, but there wasn't anything in the cupboards except for a large can of cherry pie filling. I went and got a can opener, which I could barely turn because it was kind of rusty, opened up that can, and ran to my bedroom closet and ate the whole can. To this day, I cannot eat cherry pie filling. Anything. And I think it's just had a lasting impact on me. Not that we were, like we always had our extended family, aunt and uncles. My grandparents were still definitely prevalently there. However, the day-to-day just was, the structure was gone from what we were used to having. So, and I think that stuck with me. They're just more of a, I want to make sure that my family has a roof over their head and that there's food on the table. And I want that for all of you. And so really why I work so hard as a realtor. Because I want everybody to have that. And I just don't want to ever feel that feeling ever again. I wanted to come up and hang out with us. So I also want to share, right before I had gotten my license, we had to sell our home up on the mountain, Mount Hood, and then buy a home down in Portland. And I had to hire a real estate agent to help me with that transaction. And she was my bestie. She would call me every day. We went out on dinner dates. She took me to comedy clubs. Like, I felt like she was my best friend. We finished the transactions. She helped me sell the cabin, helped me buy the property in Portland. But there were contractors that needed to get work done afterwards. The contractors would not call me back, and the agent wouldn't call me back. I felt like maybe going back into my dating days that I got ghosted, and I felt alone, and then having to figure things out. And I'm getting my license. I've taken all the tests, and I just had vowed at that moment that I would never ever do that to one of my clients. And that's why I'm so involved. That's why I get up on chimneys and paint chimney stacks. Or I'm down in a crawl space, sucking out water because that's what's needed. I don't know what else. There's lots of stories. I basically will do whatever it takes to get the job done. My husband will love this one. I don't know where Lisa's at, but Lisa says to me, she says, I want to take down this wall. I'm like, oh yeah, I can help you with that. And I go walking through the house with this sledgehammer, and Rodney's like, wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, oh, we're gonna go take down the wall. And he's like, let me help you with that. I'm glad he did. It would have been a lot. But anyway, so I want to figure out a way to help in some way, somehow, and there's a lot more that goes into it than me just jumping with a sold sign, which a lot of you are very familiar with, or dressing up as a unicorn on moving day, which you're all also pretty familiar with. That there's just so much more underneath that, and ultimately, there you are. So the sledgehammer. It really what it comes down to is that I really focus on wanting to make sure that we're secure, we have structure, and that there's a foundation that's built. Because a lot of you here are first-time home buyers, and just navigating that is so scary, and you don't know. There's not really anybody you can lean on, and I hope that you continue to lean on me for those type of questions and help that you may need. I have 3 stories of clients, and then we'll wrap it up, and you can enjoy the rest of this cruise. The first story, and I really thought they were coming and they did not make it, was Zelda and Matthew. They, first-time home buyers, first generation, 4 kids in a really tiny apartment, and they set out to, I'm going to buy a house for my children. 4 kids and 1 on the way. And so we found them a house. We closed, and on moving day was her due date. And I showed up in the moving truck, and I remember not sleeping well that night because my fear was she was going to go into labor while we're moving. And I showed up, she was buzzing around the house, and I was like, please, could you just sit down for a second? I was like, because I don't know that I'm equipped. I do a lot of things for my clients, but I don't think I'm ready to deliver a baby. We made it through. I think she had the baby 3 days later. But it's just getting them out of an apartment into something that's really solid, a home that they can call their own and build upon that. And she works full time, went to school full time. She just they 100% were just all in and trying to make a better life for their family. The second family, she went through a program called African American Alliance for Homeownership. For short, I'm going to say AW, because that's a lot to say. But that program helps individuals get ready to purchase a home. they also have grants and down payment assistance. But the bigger part is like understanding your debt and what you can afford, and making sure that at the end you're not overstressing yourself. And Bizret worked with the HUD counselor through AWE, and it took 1.5 years. And that's a lot of hard work and commitment. She had to meet with her counselor on a monthly basis. 1.5 years later, she got a significant grant and a home that was less than her, her monthly payment she was making in rent. So, also, I don't know, like another one of those like success stories. And then finally, one that kind of wraps back around with just growing up and family, that Suzanne and Steve had reached out to me and said, hey, we live in California, and we need to move up to Vancouver, Washington, because our kids live here, and they now have kids, and so we want to be around our grandkids. So they set out to do that move, but then her parents were like, wait, we're going to come with you. So then we found them a house as well. And so it's like 4 generations trying to stick together to provide that stability and structure that they're hoping that their grandkids will receive from just, that community. So I guess I share those three stories, and then just, why I'm a realtor is just to showcase that it's really important that, it's so much bigger than just purchasing a home. It's about community and helping one another to that next level in homeownership. And I'm really glad that I've been able to be a part of that for all of you.